Sweet. What's up, Vanessa?
What's up?
How you doing?
How are you?
I know. When was the last time I saw you?
I ran into you at Oak Room last time.
Oh, that's right.
Like
ago.
I
was so shocked to see you there.
Me too. I was like, wait, I know that guy. I haven't seen you out like that.
I'm like, Vanessa at the club? What? This is episode 4 of the HisViewz podcast. I am joined by my good friend and fellow artist, Vanessa. I can try and describe what kind of art you do. I just know it has to do with textures and it looks dope.
Thank you.
But can you sort of explain, like, what it is you do?
Yeah. So I do abstract art. I'm really focused on kind of perfecting a texture right now. Mm-hmm. Just getting the texture that I want, like super 3D, like popping off the canvas is kind of what I'm going for.
Yeah.
And I work with a lot of like found elements and things like that. So it's really mixed media based around texture.
So how do you even approach something like that? And how do you explain it? So let's say somebody's trying to buy a piece of your art. Mm-hmm. How do they connect with it, or how do you achieve the connection from your art to people who buy it?
Yeah, so if you like check out all the titles of my artwork, it kind of explains where I am, like what I'm thinking in that time frame. With my abstract work, I like to really focus on like what I'm feeling or experiencing, or kind of like gain inspiration from other people around me, what they're going through, what they're feeling, and really just use that like pure emotion to like find inspiration for that piece. So each one has kind of their own backstory to it, and you can kind of tell through the titles. You can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. Yeah. So that's kind of how I'll connect with people.
What's an example of one? That's like one of your favorite ones. What's the name of one of your favorite ones?
So they're all my favorite. Like every time I finish a piece, I'm like, I don't want to let go of it.
Sell it.
Because it's like a piece of my heart, you know. So it really means a lot to me, each piece that I finish.
That's awesome.
So the one I just finished that I love so much, the one is called Dough, and I love it because I'm like experimenting more on like found elements. Like I found like a long vertical piece of wood and just kind of painted directly on that, and then installed like a metal shelf as like the full piece. Like 2 of those are the full piece.
There's
so
like
that
carpentry going on up in there.
Yeah. And you know, a lot of my work has to do with like finding identity, like finding my own identity and who I am, and kind of defining that, and in general relating to other people that kind of go through that kind of thing. I feel like we're always changing as people and defining who we are. I feel like it changes every year, you know what I mean? I know you can relate to that probably.
Every quarter.
Yeah.
Literally. I was just talking, in my last podcast, I was talking to my good friend Tristan. He was one of my first mentors. He showed me how to shoot video and showed me how to shoot weddings. Okay. So I owe a lot to him. But we were just talking about how our life experiences change us. Because I asked him, like, is there anything that you would change or not do if you could go back? And he's like, no. Because everything that I have gone through has gotten me to where I'm at now with these experiences. Yeah. So how did you start? When did you start?
So actually, my background, I always did art growing up, but I went to school for graphic design. Oh, so I really come from that world. I'm really new to the art world professionally, but I was in advertising and marketing for like 5 or 6 years before I moved into this officially. I've been doing it on the side, but
I didn't know you were new. I thought you'd been doing this forever.
I'm pretty new to it. Like since COVID, I decided just to go for it.
What?
You know? Yeah.
Are you serious? I thought you've been doing this forever.
That's kind of a good thing, I think.
That's awesome. So I know through photography, a lot of people relate it as art, but me doing what I do, when I see art pieces, like, to me, that's real art. And it's like, I can't even, sometimes I'm looking at an art piece and I can't even understand it or relate it. And I think that's the beauty behind it. So I have a huge appreciation for it. I really did think you were doing it for a long time. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, full time recently, but I love your work so
Thank
much.
you.
Watching your progression, and
Thank you.
I really like what you're doing with like how you're kind of marketing and
Thank
working
you.
with video and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to tap more into videography now.
Yeah.
So I have a huge obsession and love for photography. But so the big goal is to make films and make film series. So like a nerd at home, I rewatch a lot of films. The first watch is for the enjoyment and the appreciation of the cinematography. The second watch is to study the cinematography.
Yeah.
The third watch is to study the lighting. And then the fourth and on watch is just to really nitpick. Like I've watched what's a film the John Wick movies. I don't know if you've seen those.
I haven't yet.
But if you watch those films, the lighting and the camera angles and the storytelling with all the camera angles is so perfect that it just relates to what I want to do in the future. And I mean, you name it. I watch a lot of older films: Star Wars, The Goonies, Indiana Jones.
Yeah. What kind of films are you like looking into making?
I tend to relate more to the drama and action.
Okay.
Storytelling.
Yeah.
Just storytelling experiences. So like I've watched. So like I'm big on action films, but like one of my favorite films is called Finding Forrester. It's about a black kid from the Bronx who's actually very intelligent, and he makes it into like one of the best schools in New York, and he's a good basketball player, but he's an even better person in the classroom. And it's a good story. He connects with a character in the film that he wouldn't normally connect with. It's an Irish guy. It's an old white guy, and he's a young black kid from the Bronx. Yeah. So their connection through writing was beautiful to me.
Sounds like a good movie.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Finding Forrester, definitely check it out.
Yeah.
But there's no action in it or anything like that. It's strictly drama and storytelling. But I connected with it because through something two different backgrounds connected beautifully, and I think that's what drew me to the world of photography. And when I started, I had no intentions of photographing people.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, I didn't care to photograph people.
Yeah.
I made fun of boudoir photographers. I would call them booty photographers.
Really?
I'm like, yo, that's what is this? Anybody can do this, right?
Yeah.
But then I started tapping into it and found a love and appreciation for it. Because when you photograph someone and you get a good photograph of them, they look at the camera and they look at you and they're like, I had no idea I could look like that.
Yeah.
And it brings this certain emotion and connection.
Yeah.
And they have a firm appreciation. Like, they'll text you, sometimes call you, and be like, you're amazing. I didn't know I could look like this.
Yeah.
So that's how I connect with people.
Making people feel good.
Yeah.
And you're telling a story in their way.
For the most part. But yeah, but circling back to what you were asking, the plan is filmmaking. I want to make films, movies, what other people call them, and just do some storytelling with it. And I think I'm on the right path so far.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I can't wait to see what you make.
We'll see. So I'm working on I'm 2 short film scripts now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, one's a horror-based film because that's kind of like the easiest thing to tap into, and it's also the cheapest thing to make. But the other one is a short film action sequence revolved around a female character versus a male character.
I definitely want to watch the horror movie one.
Oh, you like horror films?
I do.
I'm a little bitch when it comes to... I don't watch horror films by myself.
I'm so weird. I love that adrenaline rush.
Yeah, I'll scream. If you want to hear me scream like a female, put me...
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Oh, my God. No, I can't do it. I used to live with a couple of good friends of mine, and we saw the paranormal films, but like
Oh,
back
yeah.
to back to back. And what's scary about those films is you don't see
Yeah, it's
anything.
all in your mind.
All in your mind, right? So
Yeah.
then we started hearing noises in the house.
I was gonna say you're probably messed up for a couple weeks.
Okay, yeah, for sure. But like growing up in like a Christian home, I believe in the majority of that stuff.
Yeah,
So
like
that,
the demonic energy
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
absolutely.
Yeah, those movies like really freak me out.
yeah. What's your favorite one? What do you recommend? when
I
you're
really
watching?
like Insidious.
See, that's the
It
one that they
is
say is like the scariest one.
Freaky. And
What is
like,
it about?
Because the director, James Wan, I think that's his name.
Yeah.
You should check it out. It's just the way it's very cinematic, and that's what I like about it, is just the different weird twists and things that he puts into it, and his sound, like, whoever does the soundtracks for those movies are amazing.
Sound design is half the viewing experience,
It
they
is.
say.
Yeah, it really is. Did you see the Van Gogh exhibit?
I did.
You did? Yeah. I think that my favorite part there was like the sound design.
Yeah.
That kind of made the whole
Experience better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right about that.
It was fun.
How long have you been in Charlotte?
I moved here in high school, so when I was like 15, I moved here.
From where?
Ohio, in West
Oh, no
Virginia
shit.
area. Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm from Maryland.
Oh, cool.
I miss it up north. It's different. Definitely a lot more. I mean, it's getting better here, but definitely a lot more diversity up there.
I know you and I were talking about Florida and how much we love it there, like Miami, and
How was your Miami trip?
it was fun. So I went to Orlando area, which I've never been to. No, I have been to Orlando, like Disney World and all that. But I just love Florida in general. Anywhere in Florida just feels good to me.
What was the difference between being in Florida and being here?
Well, I do love it here. This is like my home. It's comforting. It's like a small town in a big city, you know what I mean? And
exactly
I love like the networking here, and everyone I've met is amazing. But like physically and like mentally and spiritually, when I'm in Florida, I just feel good because I don't know. I was born there, so I kind of feel like every time I go back, it just feels comforting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just feels good.
I wanted to ask you, because we sort of steered off into another direction. You were mentioning like your artwork. You do it as a form of expression, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what are the emotions that trigger you to go and off and do a certain piece?
Yeah, good question. I think I get this question all the time, and really a lot of my work and a lot of my expression is it's based around relationships and like my personal experiences with people, and just like from other people around me. I take inspiration from that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of like tension within relationships, I think, is what really inspires me to make these pieces. I think that's been my main thing so far. My main like inspiration for creating these like really abstract pieces. It really is just that raw emotion or like that feeling of figuring it out. And art for me is like, I do it like I get a little bit manic and I create something, and then at the end I realize like what I kind of tie it all together, like what I was going through or experiencing or feeling, and then this finished piece, and it brings me peace. You know what I mean? Like I deal with these feelings and I get it done. I get it out onto canvas or whatever piece, and I can move on from there, you know?
Nice.
Yeah.
So you finish a piece all in one sitting?
A lot of times it'll be like a couple days. Some of the other pieces like take longer because of that like stuck emotion. Like I'm trying to figure out how to express it onto this piece, onto the board. So it takes a little bit longer sometimes.
Yeah, 90% of the time I am burnt out.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful that I'm so passionate about what I do because I'm working on fumes. It's a struggle.
It is. I'm not quite there yet. That's the thing. I'm still so new as far as like being full-time doing my art. I still do all the freelance design work on the side. I have clients, and all of that is what still pays the bills mainly, you know.
So you're doing you're still doing graphic design.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I do graphic design and then art direction. Like, when I was traveling to Florida, I was on a photo shoot for a client, and I'll be on set and do, like, art direction, which I'm also super passionate about.
That's cool.
It's so fun, yeah. Just, like,
this.
I know, it's awesome we can talk about this,
because
because we can relate on, like, a photo shoot standpoint. I work with photographers, and it's product-based stuff, or, you know, like apartment communities and stuff like that. But working with a photographer in that sense is so fun. And then obviously what we're going to do later is so fun, just like be in front of the camera, but all of it I love.
So with art direction, it's not like styling. You're not just styling the subject. You're giving direction for the whole shoot.
Yeah, the whole shoot.
That's fucking dope.
Thank you. I basically take their vision or whatever locations they're wanting to shoot in, and I know them as a brand, so I direct what to capture at these locations depending on what it is, what kind of client it is.
I would say that's the hardest part of a shoot.
Yeah.
Because it's your job to determine what people are going to feel and see when they see those products, right?
Yeah, just like what you're saying with your client work, it's you have to like have their vision in mind and really know what they're wanting without them telling you what they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're executing their vision.
He's not here right now, but where'd Carlos go? Well, Carlos is one of the owners here at Bocal. I don't know. Have you seen any of the Bocal videos that I've posted?
Yes.
Okay.
Love it. It looks so fun.
So a lot of people, I know, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know, but he is like the real mastermind behind those videos.
Oh, really?
So he'll call me up when he has an idea. He's a creative. I told him in another life he's a film director.
Yeah.
He'll call me up randomly and he'll say, I have an idea.
That's
and no matter what I'm doing, when he calls and says that, I stop what I'm doing because I know it's going to be fucking fire.
Yeah, that's so cool. Like with the phone and stuff?
Yes.
Was that his idea?
That was his idea.
That's so cool.
I just shot it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, obviously, I give my expertise and I edit and all that stuff. Yeah. But the heart of any project, whether it's photo or video, is the storytelling.
Yep,
so that's and the direction of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's another creative man. I'm trying to find some investors and make a movie production or something with him.
Yeah, sounds like he has some fun ideas.
But that's cool. I didn't know that. So graphic design, direction on photo shoots. Have you done any video shoots?
I have a long time ago, and that's a whole different beast. That was a little tougher, but.
Are you trying to do more with your actual art?
Yes.
Your abstract art?
So definitely, that's the goal, to eventually be like you. You know, my passion is my whole life, so I want to take my artwork and be able to live off of that, you know what I mean? But it's hard as an artist, like you're saying, like, hard. I just want to create, and I don't necessarily, like, obviously you have to care about the money part to make a living and survive, but when you're creating based on, like, your passion and your creative vision, it's really hard to care about that part.
Do you feel like it's, so living in Charlotte, right, and I had this discussion with Judd, and I have this discussion with almost every artist I come across here. Do you feel like it's a little bit harder here in Charlotte to make it as an artist?
So it's hard for me to say, just because this is my city, and I do think there are benefits to Charlotte being smaller as far as the art community goes.
Huge benefits, yeah.
I think, like, the people I've met in the art community are all amazing and supportive and so talented, and I think with there being kind of like a smaller pool of artists to, like, see, I think we get more vision to us, you know. I think more people see us and find us than they would in a big city, you know what I mean? Right. So I think there are benefits to being here, and I think Charlotte is becoming pretty amazing on that front as far as, like, the art community.
Hell yeah.
I think we're growing like crazy.
Hell
and
yeah.
Only going to keep growing, so I'm glad I'm here now to continue to be part of that growth.
I've gotten my success here because of that reason. Because Charlotte, since I moved here, has been growing, but in the last like 4 or 5 years, it just skyrocketed. And then right after the pandemic, I remember somebody was telling me, you were going to get hit with a tidal wave of people wanting to work with you after this is over.
And that's how it's been with you?
My God. It's been like, I can't keep up with it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you see on my stories, I'm like, please email me.
Yeah.
Because my DMs are literally out of control.
I can't imagine.
It's ridiculous.
I get lost really easily. Like,
very easily.
DMs are hard to keep up with.
Very easily. But I think it's an advantage because, let's say, and I'm not saying I'm not a good artist, but let's say I leave right now and go to LA. The competition in LA that's already established in LA is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It would take me a lot of hard work and time to make it in a place like that versus the work that I've done here has already established me here. And I feel like Charlotte is going to grow into this really sought out city. And
agreed.
And I'm hoping when people think of a content creator that I'll be one of the first people they'll think about.
Definitely.
So but it's been hard also because there's a lot of people here in the South especially that have this mentality that they don't understand the value of the investment in marketing material and content creation. Everything is on social media now.
Yeah.
So I've also run across a lot of people that don't want to invest in it.
Yeah.
So you know,
there's a tough balance there.
There is, but I think it's getting a lot better.
Yeah.
And a lot of out-of-towners are moving here.
I think with like your like client base, I don't know all of your client type of clients you have, but I feel like you're in a good spot. I just think there are a lot of new businesses opening up, and I think, you know, obviously here and knowing people, like word of mouth gets you so far.
Yeah, that's how I've gotten all my wedding work.
Yeah.
I don't market for my weddings.
Yeah.
Weddings are a big responsibility. They're a lot of work.
Seems tough, like physically.
Oh,
it's all day long and so much pressure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But that's why I don't market for it, because I just don't have the time to take on more weddings.
Yeah.
But yeah, word of mouth has done well for me. I still don't have a website up. Everything's come through Instagram, some through Facebook here and there, not really, but everything's come through Instagram.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like it's getting better. I just, every time I travel, I'm like, man, I should be here.
I know.
Or like, man, I would do so well here, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But it is what
I'm totally the same. Like, I'll go to another city, I'm just like, why the hell am I not here?
Yeah.
What am I doing? But every time I come back home, it just feels right, you know?
Yeah.
And like we're saying, like being part of this growth is very important. So
Super
I just feel like if I
important.
left, I'm giving up a lot of potential in the city. You know what I mean?
And like I said, like me looking from the outside, I thought you were already established in what you were doing for years.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time I met you and you brought those art pieces to that photo shoot, to me that looks like, oh, she's been doing this for a while. And the way Uncle Jet talked about you, because he's like, oh yeah, I know Vanessa, she's dope, she's been doing this, and it's just like, you know, I'm astonished that you just started this. So definitely keep going.
Yeah.
For sure.
I have so much more. I got to keep going.
Yeah, for sure. So to wrap up, what are your immediate future plans right now? And what's the plan for 5 years from now?
Oh, my 5-year plan.
Your 5-year
Let's talk
plan.
about that.
I know, don't I sound so corporate?
I know.
5-year plan?
Holy shit. So I'm happy with where I am right now. You know, I want to keep networking, keep meeting people, travel more. Traveling is my inspiration too. You know, I get a lot of inspiration from that and my experiences, my love life, my friends, my family, all of that. Just keep creating and really push what I'm going for and just kind of perfect my technique.
Yes.
And I think other than, you know, being in a gallery someday or anything like that, I think for artists now, there are a lot of ways to get yourself out there.
Yes.
And I just have a lot to learn, and I can't wait to just keep going.
You sound like somebody who's focused.
Nice. That's good.
And that's super important. You have to be, something that I've learned is you have to be almost obsessed with the journey that you decide to take.
You really do.
You have to be obsessed. You have to make sure you have the right people around you, which is astronomically important. And you just have to be at peace that you are going to lose people, you know, friends. But just like Uncle Jet reminded me the other day, that's just making room for new people.
For new people,
life.
Exactly.
And it's the right people.
Yeah.
So you sound like you're focused AF.
I am ready. Anything that comes my way, I'm like prepared. I just gotta keep pushing.
I can't believe I just said AF.
AF. Focused AF.
So cool. So I will put Vanessa's information in the description below, but just for people who are listening, where can they find you?
My Instagram's VMDesign, VMDSGN. And you can find me there, DM me, or email me. Both are on there.
Sweet. And you do custom pieces too? Like somebody can approach you?
I do. If it makes sense with my work and what I do, yes.
Sweet.
We can definitely talk about it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, you have to pass her test and
the vibe
make sure.
check.
Yeah. Vanessa vibes.
Exactly. I love that.
The Vanessa vibes. Well, cool. Thank you for coming. Have you been to this venue before?
I've been to Explit. Everyone says explicit. It's Explit, right?
I say explicit too.
But I do too, but I think it...
Sorry.
I'm pretty sure it's explicit, but yeah. I've been over there, and it's been years since I've been here, though.
But you've never been to Bocao?
No, I've never been here. The space is gorgeous.
It's dope. So they do cocktails, hookah, and a lot of just dope dishes.
They play Spanish music, right?
Oh, yeah.
Or like,
it gets popping.
I'm coming.
It's like pop, especially like Friday, Saturdays.
Yeah.
And Sundays, too.
Yeah. Every time I drive by, it's like insane.
Yeah. It's cool. They brought a Miami vibe to Charlotte.
I love that.
Yeah, because you don't really see these types of lounges yet.
Yeah.
Here in Charlotte, it's mostly like Miami, New York type of vibe. So.
Yeah. Next time you come through here, let me know. I'll come by.
Awesome. Well, thank you to Bocao Sushi for having us here and letting us use their space. And thank you again.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So good to see you.
You too.